Welcome to a Nerdalysis Unhinged moment episode where I talk about subjects related to media and pop culture with no script and no regard for how long I ramble on. This video is sponsored by me and my Ko-Fi page. If you like the content you're seeing and want to support me in all my content creation endeavors, you can go to my page at www.ko-fi.com/Lindsay Reskin. Thank you to everyone who supports me. And now back to your scheduled programming. Just hopping on to say that the footage you're about to see is really choppy because I don't want Nintendo to copyright claim me or whatever. So Nintendo, this is not gameplay footage. It's fake. It's all fake. Just let me be like a mediocre person playing Breath of the Wild. Okay, thanks. Let's drop in because this one is a divisive one. Breath of the Wild. My love-hate relationship with it and kind of what I hope to see in the franchise, considering that Tears of the Kingdom will be coming out May 12th, which is less than a month away. I would give you the day countdown, but I don't do that. I can't keep up with numbers, but it's soon. It's coming soon. I mean, the OLED Switch launches later this week on Friday at the time I'm recording it on the 26th. Who knows when I'll get this out, but Tears of the Kingdom, it's coming. So I thought it would be fun to take a look back at my experience with Breath of the Wild, things I was excited for and things I didn't like about it. And I mean, I know it's not a perfect game, but this game was very popular. That's an understatement. It changed a lot for open world RPGs and Nintendo. It's one of those Zelda games that's going to be super iconic in the whole franchise and the series. I mean, a lot of them are, but this one it took the world by storm. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful game. And don't get me wrong, at the end of the day, long story short, I love this game. It's one of my favorites. I'm not putting it on the games I would never play again and I hate list, but there are some problems that I had with this game. But first, let's talk about what I loved in Breath of the Wild. So my little experience with Breath of the Wild is different than most people. I jumped on the Switch bandwagon, I think 2019, end of 2019, early 2020, no, end of 2019, I got a Switch for Christmas. I finally caved and asked for one. I was finishing up grad school. I was going to have more time, and Animal Crossing New Horizons was coming out in 2020. And I was a huge Animal Crossing fan when I was a kid. I played so many hours on the GameCube. So I wanted a Switch. I knew that. Got the Switch for Animal Crossing. But of course, I was going to pick up some games that I was also interested in, like Pokemon. I hadn't played a Pokemon title in a long time, so I picked up Sword. And I also picked up Breath of the Wild at the same time. And of course, Smash Ultimate. Those were like, I was like, okay, if we're getting a Switch, we're doing the Switch thing. We're going all in. So I got Breath of the Wild. And what drew me to this game, I had an experience with Wind Waker. Art style Wind Waker, beautiful. Loved it. Loved the vibes. I just remember I was younger. I got stuck on this one dungeon and I just gave up. I spent hours and hours trying to solve it and I didn't solve it. And so I never completed that game. So I think that means I've never actually completed a Zelda game, which is crazy to me. Because I like the series. I like the characters in Super Smash Melee. Zelda was my girl, my go-to character. So it was weird that I had never finished a game. I liked, running around in Ocarina of Time, but I never owned a copy of Ocarina of Time myself, so I never played it. So Breath of the Wild, this was going to be the first game that I had the potential to finish, since I never finished Wind Waker as a kid. Usually as an adult, I have the capabilities and skills of finishing a game. So I was really excited. And also, I loved the art style and the music. It's just gorgeous. It reminds me of Miyazaki films, which I am obsessed with and I love them. So I was there for it. I was like, yes, I love this art direction. I love where it's going. It's a different vibe than the other Zelda games we've gotten. It was kind of like Wind Waker mashup with who knows what else. I'm running out of titles. It's not in my head right now, but the art style, I just knew I was going to love it. And this idea of open world exploration. So I went into the game with high hopes and I was not disappointed. I mean, people talked about this game a lot. It was so fun to explore this world. I still love just booting up the game and just running around. That was just some of my favorite memories and like favorite gameplay footage and fails and things like that were just for me running around in Breath of the Wild, in Hyrule, climbing mountains, slipping off mountains because it's raining, but I think I can and I can't. So many stupid deaths in this game because once they taught me that I could explore anywhere, I literally tried to explore anywhere. And it was really fun to push the limits of the game and like what they allowed to be capable, which was pretty much anything in terms of exploration. It was the most open exploration I've ever had, where usually in a game, I don't just run around to see things, interact with things, but this was a game that I liked that. And I liked the discovery aspect. It was something fresh and new. It was fun and exciting knowing that I could run around and run into like a little bokoblin camp, or maybe I would find a shrine and then I would start going on a shrine hunt. Maybe I would find an area that I was ill-equipped to go into, and so then I'd figure out, how do I get into this area? What can I do to further explore the map? So I think that they really nailed it. And I mean, I'm not the only one who thinks that. Most people who have played the game really praise it for its discovery methods and exploration and how it does open world so well. So it was just, I don't know. To me, the vibes of the game are there. I love listening to the music. I love looking at the visuals. Like I said, it's gorgeous. I love watching people play through the game just because it's beautiful, and it's really fun to see how people solve the same puzzle in a different way, or how they play and experience Breath of the Wild, because I feel like it can cater to a lot of different play styles. So that's also fun to get to check out. Also, I don't know too many games where I just enjoy countless hours of running around and not knowing what I'm doing. Like, they made that aspect of it enjoyable. This also kind of leads to reasons I hate it. But, you know, I had fun for the most part running around being like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's pretty here. The music's great. And I'm sure within a few feet or something, I'll figure something out. Like, I'll find a shrine, or maybe a mountain that I think I should climb, or I'll see a pillar that I need to go to, or a town I haven't visited. There's always something to find in this game on the map. It doesn't look like the same everywhere you go to. They have very distinct areas in the map, but they stylistically and holistically fit into this Hyrule concept. Everything feels cohesive, but also disconnected. Like, the villages feel very disconnected, but I think that plays into the narrative kind of aspect that they were telling, the story that they were telling. So I really liked how there is narrative and there's world building with just the layout of the world and how the player interacts with the world. That being said, leading to my biggest pet peeves and why I got so frustrated playing Breath of the Wild. I struggled to know what I should be doing. Yes, I did love running around and figuring things out for myself and finding little tasks to do, but sometimes I just wanted to sit down and I was like, okay, I want to make progress in this game. And like, I would sit there and like, I don't know what to do. I could go find some shrines, but I feel like shrines were best, the mechanic was best used when you stumbled upon the shrine, not like mapped out, okay, go to this shrine, then this shrine, then this shrine. And I know that there were the beasts, the divine beasts, but they don't tell you what order to attack them. And I don't think you can complete all of them like feasibly. Yes, they made everything completable, you know, just doing it in whatever order. But for me and my brain, there was too much. I was like, no, like I'm not in the mood to go discover things. I'm in the mood to make progress in this game. That's what I want to do. And I'm not making it by just running around. So please, for the love, just tell me what to do. So in that sense, it was a little too open-ended for my brain at some times. I would have loved the option to toggle on hints, or maybe a suggested quest order. Like, tell me what order you Nintendo programmers suggest for attacking the divine beasts, or things you think I should accomplish before attempting this quest, things I should remember to do, because there's a lot to remember to do. And for me, Breath of the Wild didn't just happen all in one playthrough. Like, because of this frustration, I would spend months and months at a time. And also, I just don't have time sometimes to sit down and grind out a game. So I would forget about mechanics or little treasures and hidden things that I found that I was like, yes, I need to return to this. I mean, I would place a marker down, but then a few weeks later, I'd be staring at the map and I'm like, what the F is that marker for? marker for? What is that marker for? I can speak English. I just wouldn't know. So that was very frustrating for me. And, you know, I think there is such a thing as too much of an open world. And at times, Breath of the Wild walked that border and tipped onto that side. At least in my experience with the way my brain works in games. It was too open-ended. Sometimes I didn't understand the mechanics and the limitations of the game. I felt like I wasn't taught them or I wasn't reminded of them. And for my brain, I would try to solve a puzzle and I'm like, I don't understand what you want me to do. I know this is open-ended. This is how my brain would solve it. That didn't work. Please, what else can I try? Like, could you just pop up? I've spent 30 minutes in this shrine. Nintendo, let me turn on the option to pop up hints, okay? I'm accepting my failure. Give me that option to accept my failure, okay? Thank you. I would have alleviated a lot of frustration. And I know some people will be like, well, that's part of, you know, experiencing the game. And if that's how you like to experience your games, like, good for you, okay? I love that you love to be frustrated. I like it to a certain extent, but sometimes it makes me just put the game down no matter how beautiful I think it is, or I just gave up on the shrine and then I would forget about it. Again, it would come to I forgot about things a lot in this game. I don't like when games like handhold you the entire time, and I like the option to be like, don't tell me how to play this game. Okay, Nintendo, I've got this. But also like give me the option for your hand to be there. Like just if I want it, like a toggle. I'm not saying make the whole game dependent and like give me all the clues, but like let me toggle it on, okay? There's no harm in that. It's not taking away from anyone else's gameplay experience, but it's enhancing mine. So that's a big thing. More accessibility options, kind of like that in Tears of the Kingdom. I know I'm not there for changes they should make, but like that was a big reason that I stopped playing the game. Also, a weak narrative. Like, I'm sorry. It's really, really hard to do open world balanced really well with a strong narrative, and Breath of the Wild just like it doesn't do it for me. I'm not invested in the narrative at all. I'm invested in the future of Hyrule, sure, but I don't care about the narrative that happened before because it's told in flashbacks, and it's told in flashbacks that you don't even have to find. Like there's no motivation to finish any of the quests. I would argue maybe shrines and maybe divine beasts, but you don't even have to do that. They proved you could just go run to Ganon. But I think you lose something in a game when there's not something that everyone has to complete, because you can't lock like an important narrative beat or important thing behind that mission because maybe the person doesn't get to that mission. So in trying to create a game that can be played in any order, your narrative is definitely going to suffer. And like I said, they do world building pretty decently in just the map and interactions, but as far as a cohesive narrative, like couldn't tell you the story other than 100 years ago, Link and friends were battling out Ganon. He took over some technology, lost the battle. Now Link has to fight Ganon again. And like, that's not bad. I mean, that is a story. That's technically a plot, but it was like the narrative was hidden. And when you found it, it was things that happened in the past that didn't really affect the game. Like the current Link, it did not affect him. It just informed what his past was. But when he learned about that past, it didn't affect him still. So I want the narrative to hold more weight. I want it to matter in real time. I want to see narrative beats that are happening to Link within the time frame that the game is taking place. Let narrative beats happen to Link in Breath of the Wild. I think so far, a spoiler, I haven't finished the game. Are we surprised I haven't finished a Zelda game? This wasn't the first one. Like, I've seen people complete it and play through, and like technically I could go run and finish it, but I have one more Divine Beast and whatever. It's fine. All of that aside, the narrative beats that you kind of got with the Divine Beast were still not enough. There wasn't anything tying it together. There's something to be said about a trial everyone has to pass in order to proceed the game, because you can tie so much important narrative and elements to that. So that's just like reasons that Breath of the Wild let me down in that regard. I love narrative games, and I get what they're doing with an open world, and I'm not saying it's not going to make me think that this is one of the greatest games out there, but the narrative is weak. I think we can all agree. If you think the narrative is strong, please let me know why you think it's strong, what really resonated with you, and maybe I missed something, but for me, just didn't do it. So Tears of the Kingdom, my wish list for things in a game that's already developed and already shipped out pretty much, I'm pretty sure, and is coming out in a few weeks. My my hopes that will change nothing. Here's what they are. Stronger narrative, obviously. Like, give me a reason to care that the world is ending, or that Ganon has come back, that Zelda has been kidnapped, that anything has happened. Give me a reason. I think it has the potential based on trailers and stuff. Like, I'm not going to get into my theories and what I think, but based on trailers and what I've seen, there is hope for stronger narrative. I really hope Nintendo heard, or at least the developers for Tears of the Kingdom, and they're going to spend more time with the narrative. Along with that, story beats that feel like they matter to gameplay. Don't give me scattered memories. Okay, I'm okay with being required to do things in order to complete a game. In fact, that is an expectation I walk into a game with, that, hey, if you want to say that you have beat the game or like see the final scene, you need to do X, Y, and Z. Like, it was cool. It was cool for Breath of the Wild that you didn't have to do that. I admire that. Cool. Please don't do it again. Please, please, please. If you want narrative to be center, you do have to sacrifice a bit of the open worldness of the game, but I think that's a sacrifice that's totally worth it. In this case, like, I think it will make the game stronger and it won't detract from it. As I was saying before, the ability to toggle quest guides, or something to suggest what I should do next, or maybe remind me that you can get treasures in these camps that you look around, or don't forget to do this kind of thing. Like, I am fine with hints in games. I know some people detest them and they think it takes away from their immersion and the experience, and they're not for real gamers. I don't really care about you. I'm not talking about you. This isn't for you. I'm not asking for them to be permanently turned on. I want the option to turn them on. So when I don't want to use my brain and think about what to do in Breath of the Wild, they can just tell me what to do. That would be great. Yeah, so give me that, please. And I think creating story beats in the game, giving players something they have to accomplish in a certain order, will definitely help with that. Okay? I don't need Donald Duck telling me, I think I found an ingredient every 5 seconds.
This might be a good spot to find some ingredients.
It's like, I don't need that. But I would like, the ability to do some hints that aren't just on the loading screen, but that come up when the game sees that I'm being stupid. That'd be nice. Please fix my stupidity. Thank you. I think that was like one of the last ones. Fix my stupidity. If I'm struggling, give me nudges. Okay, on and off. Accessibility. Let's all be for more accessibility in video games. It's not gonna change how you play the game if you don't want to use it. Just don't use it. Let me use it. And I think one of the last ones, there's like a lot of things I hope for. I mean, I hope the art style, it looks like it stayed the same. Music, pretty sure it's gonna be on point. Like, those things I'm confident in. The mechanics, I'm confident in. The things that they're adding for your creativity, yes, I'm here for it. The last thing that they can do that I really am not sure that they did, just give me voice lines, damn it. It's not hard to do voice lines in this day and age, especially with like AAA, big budget game, like huge budget for this game. With the previews that are happening, they gave a voice to Ganon. Like, I have some hopes, but then again, it's Nintendo, and they take my hopes and they raise them high and then they crash them low. But voice lines, I would like Link to talk more. I understand, like, that's asking too much. That's probably asking way too much. That's okay if that one doesn't happen, but like, just like make more things voiced, please. I mean, it's cool. I don't mind reading, but I think that would be great. So yeah, there's my unhinged ramble on why I love and hate Breath of the Wild, what I want to see in Tears of the Kingdom. I've already pre-ordered the game. I'm getting the pretty OLED Switch because it's beautiful and I couldn't help myself and I want an OLED Switch. All those things. I'm excited for this game. End of the day, Breath of the Wild, one of my favorite games. Even though I haven't beat it, I don't need to beat it to love it. I just love spending time in that world, in that game, in that art style and the music. It's so good. Tears of the Kingdom. I'm trying not to put my hopes too high, like way too high, that I get disappointed with the things I want Nintendo to change. I really hope they listen to the feedback of like players where they're like, this was great, keep this, but maybe do this. Like dungeons, people were really, pissy about dungeons. I could go either way. I see where they were going. I don't mind them being there. Like I said, I think Tears of the Kingdom is going to be a good game. Like at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a good game. There are things that will determine if it's going to be a groundbreaking game. And I really hope it is. I really hope, that this is like a duology, because too much of a good thing, we don't want to have them ruin it. Maybe move on to the next project. Let us love the thing and don't give us more reasons to hate it. But I really think that this duology can pull off something special. And I think Tears of the Kingdom can really build on what Breath of the Wild did and become something special. I just hope Nintendo did it. I know I can't change anything now, but that's it. That's all I have for my unhinged ramble. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Okay, thanks, bye.